The Loa rally was in full swing, as thousands of people gathered under a bright, sunny sky. Red, white, and blue flags fluttered in the breeze, and the air was thick with anticipation. Donald Trump, ever the showman, strode onto the stage to the roar of his supporters, the energy palpable as his name echoed across the field. Thank you, Iowa." Trump's voice thundered over the loudspeakers. "We're going to make America great again, and I mean great." His words were met with cheers, whistles, and applause. He raised his arms in the air, basking in the adoration of the crowd, and then began his speech. As he paced back and forth on the stage, a faint meow cut through the noise. Trump paused mid-sentence, squinting into the crowd. His eyes scanned the area, but he didn't see anything out of the ordinary. He continued, "I'm telling you, we're going to win. Big league." The meow came again. A few members of the audience giggled, and Trump raised an eyebrow. "What's going on? I haven't even told a joke yet." Then he saw it. An unkempt, scruffy cat weaving its way through the crowd, seemingly oblivious to the sea of people around it. The cat, with its patchy black and white fur and slightly ragged ears, walked confidently toward the stage. It didn't hesitate for a second. "Well, folks," Trump said, his voice dripping with amusement, "we've got a special guest. Looks like even the animals know who's in charge." He bent down slightly as if greeting the creature. The cat hopped up onto the stage with a casual grace, its tail swishing in the air. It paused in front of Trump, staring up at him with intense, unblinking eyes. For a moment, the crowd was silent. Then they erupted in laughter and applause. Trump looked down at the cat and chuckled, "You've got guts, I'll give you that." One of Trump's aides, Corey, rushed over from the side of the stage. "Mr. Trump, the cat, it's not supposed to be here." Trump waved him off. "Let it stay, Corey. It's a good luck charm." The cat made itself comfortable in front of the podium, sitting in the spotlight. Its presence was oddly commanding, as if it belonged there. Trump continued his speech, now frequently glancing down at the feline. "I like this cat. Doesn't mind the spotlight, huh?" The crowd continued to laugh and cheer. The whole situation was bizarre, yet captivating. At that moment, it seemed like the perfect metaphor. Even the unexpected could find a place in Trump's world, a world where confidence and boldness won the day. As Trump finished his speech and made his way off the stage, the cat followed him, weaving through the security staff and his campaign team, without a care in the world. Trump smiled to himself. "Looks like I've got a new follower," he said with a grin. It didn't take long before the cat became the talk of the rally. Social media exploded with pictures of Trump and the stray, some captioned, "Champ for President." Others joked that the cat had endorsed Trump. He liked the attention, but what was even more surprising was that the cat seemed to have taken a liking to him, too. Later that evening, as Trump prepared to board his private jet, Corey appeared at his side. He looked nervous, his hands wringing together. "Mr. Trump, we've got a bit of a situation," Corey said hesitantly. "The cat, it's in the luggage area." Trump raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean it's in the luggage area? We're flying out in 20 minutes. "I don't know how it got in there," Corey said, "but it's on the plane." Trump looked at his assistant for a long moment before a grin spread across his face. "You know what, Corey? Fine. Let it stay. Maybe it's a good omen. Who knows? Maybe it'll keep us lucky." With a shrug, Corey relented. "All right, Mr. Trump, but we need to make sure it doesn't get into the equipment or something. We can't have it causing trouble." Trump waved him off. "It's just a cat, Corey. Besides, I think it's already got more character than half the people I know." The flight was uneventful, with Trump occasionally glancing at the cat curled up on one of the luxurious leather seats in the cabin. He couldn't help but smile at the sight. This odd little animal had somehow become a part of his world, and he didn't mind at all. As the plane took off, he turned to his aides. "You know, this cat's got guts. It's got style. It's got it. I'm calling it Champ, short for champion, because it's clear to me that this cat's a winner." The aides exchanged glances. "Of course, sir. Champ it is," one of them said with a grin. From that moment, the cat's fate seemed sealed. Champ, the stray cat, had found a place in the Trump world, unexpectedly and irresistibly. As they soared through the sky, Trump leaned back in his seat, eyes glinting with a rare sense of amusement. "You know," he said, more to himself than anyone else, "maybe this little guy has a future in politics." It was a warm, sunny day in Palm Beach, and the grandeur of Mar-a-Lago was undeniable. The sprawling estate shimmered with its golden accents, towering columns, and manicured lawns. Inside, the atmosphere was equally luxurious. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceilings, and the hum of quiet conversation filled the air as Trump made his way through the hallways. "Sir, everything's prepared for the charity gala tonight. The guest list is confirmed and the caterers are setting up," Sarah, Trump's assistant, reported as she walked briskly beside him. Her professional demeanor was always a reassuring presence, but today she looked a little tense. Trump glanced at her. "Good, good. I want everything perfect tonight. This is going to be a huge success." He paused, scanning the grand hallway. "And what about the cat? Is he behaving himself?" Sarah hesitated for a moment. "Well, sir, there's something you should know. Champ, he's been exploring the estate." Trump furrowed his brow. "Exploring?" "Yes, sir. He's been around the garden, the lobby, even the pool area. He's a little everywhere," she explained, trying to suppress a smile at the image of the uninvited guest causing mild chaos in the mansion. Trump shook his head, but the hint of a grin tugged at his lips. "Let him have his fun. If anything, he adds character to this place." It didn't take long for Champ to make his presence known. As the gala guests began to arrive, dressed in their finest attire, Trump greeted each one with his signature charm, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries. But in the background, chaos was brewing. Champ, who had wandered in earlier, was busy inspecting the ballroom's pristine decor. He trotted across the polished marble floors with an air of purpose, weaving between guests and occasionally stopping to sniff at the food platters. One woman in an elaborate evening gown let out a shriek as Champ jumped onto the grand piano, causing a series of dissonant notes to ring out. "Good Lord, what's that cat doing?" she gasped, clutching her pearls. Trump, overhearing the commotion, chuckled. "Don't worry, folks. That's just Champ, my new companion. He's a little wild, but that's what makes him special." While some guests were amused, others were less than thrilled by the furry interloper. One elderly man, clearly displeased, muttered, "I came to enjoy a fine evening, not be disrupted by a stray cat." Trump caught wind of the grumbling and moved swiftly to smooth things over. "Well, it's not every day you get a personal greeting from the Champ himself," he quipped, flashing his trademark smile. "He's a one-of-a-kind guest, folks, and I assure you, his presence means good luck for all of us." But just as Trump finished his sentence, the worst happened. Champ, who had been lounging on one of the couches, suddenly sprang into action. His eyes locked onto a gleaming silver platter filled with shrimp and lobster. Without hesitation, he darted forward, swiping the platter off the table with lightning speed. The shrimp flew into the air, landing in various places across the ballroom, and the platter itself crashed to the floor with a loud clatter. Guests gasped in shock, while some burst out laughing at the absurdity of the situation. Trump turned around, his face turning from amusement to mild alarm. "Champ, what are you doing? You can't just steal the food." But it was too late. Champ, with a shrimp in his mouth and a look of pure satisfaction on his face, strutted through the crowd as if he had just won the lottery. The room was filled with a mix of laughter, disbelief, and a few muttered complaints. Sarah rushed up to Trump, her face pale. "Sir, we need to address this before it gets out of hand. The staff is in a panic, and some guests are—" I know," Trump interrupted, already half smiling at the absurdity of it all. "We'll clean it up, but for now, let's just enjoy the moment. This cat's got character, and that's something you don't see every day." Despite the chaos, the gala continued on. As the night wore on, Champ somehow became the star of the evening. People wanted pictures with him. Others posted on social media with captions like "Champ for President" and "The Cat Who Runs Mar-a-Lago." The event's initial tension melted away, replaced by laughter and a newfound sense of levity. Trump couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. This cat, this unpredictable creature, had somehow turned a potentially disastrous situation into a memorable one. Later, as the gala began to wind down and the guests slowly trickled out, Trump stood at the balcony, sipping a glass of water. He glanced at the sprawling estate below, feeling a rare moment of calm. "You know, Champ," he said, scratching the cat behind the ears, "maybe you're the best thing to happen to this place. You've got people talking, and you've got everyone's attention. Maybe you're the real star." Champ purred contentedly in his lap, clearly unbothered by the night's events. "Maybe I should put you in charge of my next campaign ad," Trump continued, a playful glint in his eyes. "A cat who knows how to make a splash." It wasn't long before Champ's antics started to attract attention, both good and bad. Some people found his presence endearing, while others were beginning to find him a nuisance. Trump, however, had grown quite fond of his new companion. One night, as Trump sat in his office at Mar-a-Lago reviewing campaign strategies, he heard a commotion outside. Loud voices, clattering noises, and urgent shouting. He pushed away from his desk, stepping into the hallway. "What's going on?" he asked, approaching one of the security guards. "There's a fire in the ballroom, sir," the guard explained, his face pale. "We've evacuated everyone, but the fire alarm didn't go off and the smoke's getting worse." Trump's eyes widened. He immediately pulled out his phone to call 911. But before he could dial, a familiar meow echoed from down the hall. "Champ," Trump muttered, confused. "Where is that cat now?" He followed the sound of the meowing until he reached the ballroom. The door was ajar, and through the crack he could see a faint glow. His heart raced. Was the fire getting worse? He stepped into the room. But the fire wasn't the only thing that caught his attention. There, in the corner, was Champ, paws raised and scratching furiously at the floor. He meowed loudly, as if trying to get someone's attention. "Champ," Trump called, his voice shaky with a mix of concern and confusion. "What's going on, buddy?" Just then, one of the staff members rushed past Trump, pulling him out of the way. "Sir, the fire's contained, but the smoke's still bad. You need to get out of here. Now." Trump nodded, but before he could turn to leave, Champ darted forward, pulling at a loose floorboard near the base of the wall. Trump, now realizing what was happening, reached down and pulled the board up, revealing a small hidden compartment. Inside the compartment was an electrical circuit box, smoldering from an overheating wire that had sparked a small fire. "Get everyone out of here," Trump shouted to the staff, his tone urgent. We need to call the fire department immediately. This could get worse." Champ, his mission accomplished, trotted over to Trump's side as if to say, "You're welcome." Minutes later, the fire was under control and disaster was averted. Trump, standing outside the ballroom, felt a rush of gratitude. "Good job, Champ," he said, his voice soft but full of appreciation. "You just saved this place. You really are a hero." As the campaign began to heat up, Trump's political rival Governor Mitchell saw an opportunity to steal some of the spotlight. He had adopted a golden retriever named Max, a picture-perfect dog that seemed to embody everything Trump's cat was not: obedient, clean, and perfectly groomed. Mitchell started bringing Max to rallies, where the dog would perform tricks for the crowd, winning hearts with its friendly demeanor. But Trump was not to be outdone. He brought Champ to every rally, allowing him to steal the show in his own unpredictable way. At one event, while Mitchell's Max was sitting calmly on stage, Champ leapt onto the podium, knocking over Mitchell's water glass. "Looks like your dog needs some competition," Trump joked, turning to the audience, which roared with laughter. Mitchell, clearly annoyed, shot a look at Trump but said nothing. The cat had won again. The following week, Trump's team received an unexpected call from one of the campaign coordinators. The buzz surrounding the cat was reaching new heights, at least on social media. Trump's campaign had made headlines for all the right and wrong reasons, thanks to Champ's constant antics. But now, it seemed like Governor Mitchell and his dog Max were drawing too much attention, and Trump wasn't about to let that slide. "You know, we've got to make sure the world knows who the real star is," Trump said, his tone calculating. "Max the dog, that's fine, but nothing beats Champ the cat." The next rally was set in New Hampshire, and Trump had a plan to outshine his opponent. As he stood backstage preparing for his speech, he noticed his team scrambling to set up a makeshift pet-friendly stage. They had learned from the last fiasco at the Mar-a-Lago Gala, and they weren't about to let Champ's presence be a chaotic afterthought. Corey, his ever-present assistant, was on the phone with the rally organizers. "Mr. Trump, we've got everything ready. We're going to bring the cat out during the speech. People are already asking for photos with him." Trump grinned. "Good. I want Champ to be the first thing they see." When the event started, the usual crowd of enthusiastic Trump supporters packed the arena. The cheers and chants echoed in the large hall. Trump appeared on stage, waving to the crowd, but he wasn't alone this time. Corey walked on stage holding Champ in his arms, the cat calmly surveying the room. A collective gasp rose from the audience, followed by thunderous applause. Trump smiled, nodding to Corey to place the cat gently on the podium. The crowd was in awe. "Folks," Trump began with a sly grin, "I know what you're all thinking. Why not have a real Champ up here with me? This is Champ. He's not like any dog you've seen in the news. He doesn't do tricks, but he knows how to win." The crowd roared with laughter. Champ looked perfectly at home, licking a paw and ignoring the spotlight on him. It was clear to everyone that this cat had won hearts across America, and perhaps even more importantly, it was now the perfect counter to Governor Mitchell's dog. As Trump continued with his speech, he used the moment to shift the narrative. He spoke passionately about leadership, making bold decisions, and the ability to stand out in a crowded field. But just as he was hitting his stride, something unexpected happened. A member of the press, clearly caught up in the charm of the moment, asked, "Mr. Trump, will Champ be making more appearances during your campaign? It seems like he's become a bit of a mascot." Trump, never one to miss an opportunity, winked at the camera. "I think Champ is exactly what we need. A reminder that we all have a unique role to play, and sometimes it's the unexpected who make the biggest impact. So yes, Champ will be with us for the long haul. And, folks, he's going to help us win." The crowd erupted in cheers once again, chanting Champ's name. The media coverage the next day was all about Champ's debut. Photos of the cat beside Trump made the front page of newspapers. The internet exploded with memes, many of them comparing Max the dog to Champ, with captions like, "Sorry, Max, but Champ is the real winner." Back in the office, Corey couldn't help but laugh. "You did it, sir. You've officially stolen the spotlight from Mitchell. No one's talking about his dog anymore." Trump leaned back in his chair, his fingers steepled together. "It's all about personality, Corey. And this cat, he's got more personality than half the candidates combined." Weeks passed, and the buzz around Trump's unconventional partnership with Champ grew louder. It wasn't just the rallies anymore. The media was obsessed with the cat. Tabloid headlines screamed Trump's campaign secret weapon, the cat who conquered America. Everywhere Trump went, Champ was by his side, whether in the Oval Office, the golf course, or making surprise appearances at high-profile events. One afternoon, as Trump sat in his private office, the door burst open. "Mr. Trump, we've got a situation," Sarah said, looking flustered as she walked in, holding up a copy of the National Enquirer. Trump raised an eyebrow. "What now?" She dropped the magazine onto his desk, pointing to a bold headline. "Is Trump's cat running the country?" He chuckled. "I see the media's getting creative again." Sarah looked at him, her expression a mix of exasperation and amusement. "Well, it's more than just the headlines, sir. There's been talk of Champ being more than just a mascot. Some outlets are saying he's the real brains behind your success." Trump grinned. "I'll take it. If the media wants to give my cat credit for our success, let them. Maybe I should start charging for Champ's advice." But as Trump's star and Champ's rose, so did the pressure. The more visible Champ became, the more questions arose about his role in Trump's campaign. Political pundits began debating whether the cat's popularity could translate into votes. Meanwhile, rival campaigns used the rising influence of Champ as ammunition, claiming that Trump's campaign had turned into a circus. At a press conference, a journalist bluntly asked, "Mr. Trump, with all due respect, do you think your campaign is being overshadowed by the media's obsession with your cat?" Trump's eyes narrowed, but then he smiled. "Listen, if they want to talk about my cat, that's fine by me. But I'll tell you something. Champ has brought a lot of attention to issues that matter. People remember the man with the cat, and they'll remember the policies too. The people want someone who knows how to make an impact, and I'm giving them that." The media was relentless, but Trump knew how to handle it. Champ had become his secret weapon, a symbol of unpredictability that kept the public on its toes. Meanwhile, Champ himself remained blissfully unaware of the frenzy he had ignited. He was just enjoying his new life, being pampered, attending rallies, and snuggling in Trump's lap during quiet moments. As the election day drew closer, Trump knew it was time to pull out all the stops. His rallies were packed, his social media presence was unparalleled, and yet he still wasn't sure if his unconventional campaign would be enough to win. Would people actually vote for a man with a cat that became a celebrity? The night before the election, Trump sat alone in his office, Champ curled up on a plush chair beside him. The only sounds in the room were the occasional rustling of papers and the soft purrs of his feline companion. "You know, Champ," Trump said quietly, "you've made this campaign unforgettable. But tomorrow, it's up to the people. Let's hope they remember what we've fought for. The jobs, the economy, the future." Champ lazily opened one eye and yawned, completely unconcerned with the weight of the situation. But in Trump's mind, he knew one thing for sure. Champ had been with him every step of the way, through the rallies, the media frenzy, and the late-night debates. And whatever happened tomorrow, he couldn't have asked for a better partner. The next morning, as Trump walked into the polling station to cast his vote, he couldn't help but smile as he saw a sea of "Make America Great Again" hats, all of them sporting photos of Champ on posters and buttons. The people were still talking about the cat, and Trump knew that was something to be proud of. "I think we've got this," Trump said, glancing down at Champ, who was in his arms, looking as casual as ever. No matter the result, one thing was certain. This election had been like no other, and Champ was the star who had helped make it unforgettable. Hope you enjoyed this story. If you want part 2 of this story, let us know in comment section.